on some very interesting news in South African politics. Finally, Shivambu Walsh was able to get an interview from the one and only Floyd Shivambu. Floyd Shivambu, after he has left the EFF, nobody knows what happened according to his side of the story. But today, you are going to hear exactly what happened, and you're going to get to dive deep into the relationship, the brotherhood of Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu. According to Floyd Shivambu's perspective, how was the brotherhood? How was the friendship? Was it personal? Was it political? You're going to understand that. But of course, I'm going to play a clip based on just that, explaining the brotherhood. If you want to watch the full interview, you can always refer back to Shivambu Walsh's channel, SMWX, whereby it talks about different things, the GNU, the MK party, and the political scene in South Africa, and expand more on different conversations. But about the brotherhood, take a listen at this.
I think so if you were to go to the interview that we did in the when I was still in the EFF, and then you asked me the question, what is the relationship with the president of the EFF? I said this political relationship, actually made an emphasis on, it's a political relationship that we had. Yeah, and of course, because we work in the same spaces, we'll end up doing so many things together. If there's a family gathering, you'll get to know and then support each other and all of those things there. But the relationship was political relationship. And
that's interesting.
That is how it is. And I have no bad feelings about anyone, like generally. Leave the people that I work with. Generally, I don't have any personal feelings against anyone. Like I relate far much easier with comrades in the ANC. Like I talk to everyone. Like I'll talk to the comrades that we led with in the ANC. Like I talk to Andile Lungisa. I talk to Lebogang Maile for a very long time on the phone. I talk to Lamula, like about so many issues. I talked to everyone. Like I get to have political discussions with them, even if we're in different political organizations. I still talk to some of the comrades in the EFF, except those who feel like they might be doubted for having engagements with me. I don't have problems with anyone, but I'm able to distinguish that there's a political relationship and like so-called brotherhood and everything else. Because sometimes this so-called brotherhood, it's not brotherhood, it borders on gangsterism, a gangster relationship that we're together. If a person is wrong, we can't call each other to order. Like you defend each other even when a person is doing wrong things, is now venturing into wrong politics of being boastful and doing wrong things in public and everything else, and disrespecting people, and then you don't say anything because of brotherhood. You must be able to call out certain things that this is unacceptable and everything else. And if you realize that, so those things of the personal relationship can't override a political principle in the relations with everyone. So if a comrade misbehaves or does things which you realize that this is wrong, you must be able to call each other to order. Like it's not gangster relationship where you say we'll die together. It doesn't work like that. And by the way, this characterization, I used to say this when we were in the National Executive Committee of the ANC Youth League. So Pulemabe was the Treasurer General of the ANC Youth League. So I used to say to the president of the ANC Youth League, now current president of the EFF, that me and you are going to be buried next to each other. Wow. All the time. And then later on he went to engage in other activities, like to collaborate with those who were dealing with him. Now I used to say that I'll never say that. I'll never. Like if it's a political relationship, like you can't promise to die next to each other in a political relationship. It's based on principle.
Sure.
If principle shifts, then we no longer relate the same way that we related before. So if you realize that there's certain areas of just divergence from what should define a revolutionary, you must be able to say, but this is not what I signed up for. This is not the character which I thought we're dealing with. And I'm not talking about the contextual relationship now with the president of the EFF. I'm talking generally in politics that we should relate to each other on political principles so that we're able to correct each other whenever something goes wrong. Yeah.
Let's come to the present moment in South African politics and how you characterize it, because of course we've got this so-called government of national unity, which everyone keeps calling it GNU.
Hi Nizwele, right? I guess whoever came up with a statement in politics that there's no permanent friends in politics, there's no permanent enemies in politics. It's all politics is a contestation of different ideas and different different ideas and different principles. Based on principles, people can switch. Based on ideas, people can switch and follow something else. It's never personal, and you should never personalize it. That's what I'm getting to understand with this whole issue of Floyd Shivambu, EFF, MK Party, and the CIC, the legendary Julius Malema. But you guys have heard, right? You've heard, and at least with Floyd Shivambu speaking, there is no room for us to make our own conclusions as to what he thinks, as to what happened. And I believe this was a blessing to all of us, whether at the Progressive Caucus, whether the EFF members, whether the MK Party members, or people who are outsiders of these two political parties who are observing what's happening within the Progressive Caucus. This was best for Floyd Shivambu to also speak up on this, for us to get a proper understanding. Where does he stand? So it doesn't leave room for assumptions. It doesn't leave room for speculations. I, for one, I've always known, I've always understood Floyd Shivambu is very smart. He's one of the most smart politicians in South Africa. That one I can never take away from him. But I was deeply heartened, I was deeply heartbroken for him to leave the EFF. Of course, now I've healed. I've healed now, and I don't hate Floyd Shivambu. I can never hate Floyd Shivambu. I can disagree with certain things the MK Party does and things like that, but it's not all hate. It's never hate. So shout out to Floyd Shivambu for finally speaking up. And now we have the clarity. We're no more going to be making our own speculations. Now we have the clarity. We know how was the brotherhood. It was never a personal brotherhood. It was all about politics. It was a political brotherhood. These people were never in a gangsterism type of brotherhood whereby I die where you die, I live where you live, you watch out for me and I watch out for you. It was never about that. It was just political. And Floyd Shivambu, according to him, he found out, he realized that, look, man, the principles now are not aligned with the type of principles and my politics. So I'd rather leave the EFF and go join the MK Party. It was his personal choice. Nobody should take that away from him. Thank you very much, Shivambu, for watch. If you want to watch the whole interview, shout out Sizwe. He did a wonderful job. Thank you very much.